Did you know that in 2025, over 10 countries have completely closed their borders to British citizens? No visas, no entry, and in some cases, not even a transit stop. Imagine being denied entry at the airport or, worse, facing questioning just because of your passport. Hard to believe, isn't it? The reasons behind these bans are as shocking as they are unexpected. One country on this list, famous for its stunning landscapes, now considers British travellers a security risk. Another has imposed strict measures that make visiting nearly impossible, even for those with valid documentation. It's not just about politics either. Some bans are tied to safety concerns or long-standing tensions between nations. What's surprising is that a few of these countries were once among the most sought-after travel destinations for British tourists. Now, they're off limits, and the consequences of visiting could be severe. In this video, we'll uncover the top 10 countries where British citizens are not allowed in 2025. Each entry comes with its own story, some tied to global disputes, others to local policies that have taken a dramatic turn. And wait until you hear about number 1 on the list. It's a destination you would never expect to ban Brits. Number 10. North Korea. North Korea, long known for its secrecy and isolation, is the 10th country on our list. For British citizens, visiting this nation in 2025 is no longer an option, with entry policies that are stricter than ever before. The deteriorating relationship between the UK and North Korea is a significant factor behind this restriction. Years of political tensions, compounded by international sanctions, have led the North Korean government to view British travellers with deep suspicion. Securing a visa is now nearly impossible, and those who attempt to enter face a grueling and invasive process. British visitors report that the situation inside the country is even more unsettling. Upon arrival, travellers are subjected to intense scrutiny, including searches of their personal belongings and electronic devices. Movement within the country is highly controlled, with government-approved guides accompanying visitors at all times. Deviating from the approved itinerary, even unintentionally, can lead to severe consequences, including detainment or being forcibly expelled from the country. As of 2025, the UK Foreign Office strongly advises against all travel to North Korea, warning of the risks associated with arbitrary detention and the lack of diplomatic support available to assist in emergencies. While North Korea's cultural heritage and historic sites may intrigue some, the serious risks involved make it an inadvisable destination for British citizens. Travelers should think twice before considering any trip to this highly volatile and unpredictable nation. And this is just the start. What's coming next might completely change your perspective on travel in 2025. Let's uncover more. Number 9. Iran. Iran, a country rich in history and culture, is the 9th entry on our list of nations that have closed their doors to British travelers in 2025. Once a sought-after destination for its breathtaking architecture and vibrant traditions, Iran has now become a restricted zone for British passport holders. The ban stems from strained diplomatic relations between the UK and Iran. Over the years, tensions have escalated due to political disputes, sanctions, and allegations of espionage. These issues have fueled mistrust, leading Iran to impose stricter entry policies for British citizens. Reports suggest that obtaining a visa has become nearly impossible, with applications frequently denied without explanation. For those who do attempt to visit, the experience can be deeply unnerving. British travellers have reported being subjected to intensive questioning upon arrival, with customs officials thoroughly inspecting their belongings and electronic devices. Even minor misunderstandings can escalate, resulting in detention or forced deportation. Adding to the risks, Iran's legal and political environment offers little protection for foreign visitors. The UK government has issued strong warnings against all travel to the region, citing numerous cases where British nationals were arbitrarily detained or accused of acts they didn't commit. Although Iran boasts remarkable landmarks like Persepolis and the mosques of Isfahan, the current risks far outweigh the rewards for British tourists. In 2025, visiting Iran is not just difficult, it's dangerous. Number 8. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a nation known for its rugged landscapes and deep cultural history, claims the 8th spot on our list of countries where British citizens are not welcome in 2025. Unfortunately, this once beautiful destination is now entirely off limits due to a combination of political instability, ongoing conflict, and severe restrictions imposed by the ruling government. The situation in Afghanistan changed drastically following the Taliban's takeover in 2021, and tensions have only escalated since then. For British citizens, the risks are higher than ever as the Taliban regime views Western nations with intense distrust. The UK's involvement in Afghanistan's past conflicts has left lingering resentment, making British travellers a target of suspicion. Entry for British nationals has been virtually blocked, with visa applications often outright rejected. Even for humanitarian workers and journalists, obtaining permission to enter the country is nearly impossible. Those who do manage to gain access face significant dangers, including the risk of arbitrary detention or being caught in violent incidents. The security situation remains dire, with the UK government advising against all travel to Afghanistan. Terrorist groups continue to operate across the country, and there's little to no protection available for foreign visitors. British nationals also face challenges due to the absence of diplomatic support, as the UK no longer has an embassy in Afghanistan. While Afghanistan's breathtaking landscapes, such as the Hindu Kush Mountains, and cultural treasures like the Bamiyan Buddhas once drew adventurous tourists, the current reality makes it an unviable destination. The risks are far too great, and for British travellers, Afghanistan is now synonymous with danger and uncertainty. Coming up, we'll explore the next country on our list, one that surprises many with its policies and restrictions on British visitors. Let's move to the 7th spot and uncover the reasons behind its inclusion. Number 7. Russia. Russia, a vast country with a rich cultural legacy and iconic landmarks like the Kremlin and Red Square, takes the 7th spot on our list. However, for British citizens in 2025, Russia has become a no-go zone, with strict restrictions making entry nearly impossible. The root of these restrictions lies in the escalating political tensions between the UK and Russia. These tensions have intensified in recent years, particularly due to sanctions imposed by Western nations, including the UK, following Russia's actions in Ukraine. As diplomatic relations have deteriorated, Russia has responded by limiting or outright denying visa access to British nationals. British travellers who attempt to visit face numerous obstacles, starting with the visa application process itself. Reports indicate that many applications are rejected without explanation, and even those granted permission often encounter issues at the border. Travellers have been subjected to prolonged questioning, and in some cases, they were denied entry despite holding valid visas. The situation within Russia is equally challenging for British nationals. Government surveillance, restrictions on movement, and the potential for arbitrary detainment pose significant risks. In addition, the UK government has warned against travel to Russia due to a lack of diplomatic support and the increased likelihood of geopolitical tensions spilling over into confrontations involving foreign visitors. While Russia remains a country of incredible beauty with its onion-domed cathedrals, historic cities, and breathtaking Siberian landscapes, the current political climate makes it a high-risk destination for British citizens. What was once a popular choice for adventurous travellers is now overshadowed by uncertainty and danger. Number 6. Venezuela. Venezuela, a nation celebrated for its breathtaking landscapes such as Angel Falls and the stunning Caribbean coastline, occupies the 6th spot on our list of countries where British citizens are not welcome in 2025. Unfortunately, the country's political and economic turmoil has made it an unsafe and inaccessible destination for British travellers. The strained relationship between the UK and Venezuela stems from political disagreements, including differing views on Venezuela's leadership and human rights issues. These tensions have resulted in strict travel restrictions, with British nationals facing significant hurdles when attempting to obtain visas. Even for those with valid travel documents, entry is far from guaranteed, as reports suggest that many travellers are turned away at immigration checkpoints. The situation within Venezuela is equally concerning. The country is grappling with widespread instability, a struggling economy, and high crime rates. British visitors are often viewed with suspicion, and there have been instances where foreigners were targeted for extortion or detention. This hostile environment, combined with a lack of reliable legal or diplomatic protection, makes Venezuela an increasingly dangerous place for British nationals. Travel advisories from the UK government strongly warn against all but essential travel to Venezuela, citing safety risks such as violent crime, political protests, and poor infrastructure. Even basic amenities like healthcare and transportation are unreliable, further amplifying the dangers for foreign visitors. While Venezuela remains a country of unparalleled natural beauty and cultural richness, its current political and social challenges make it a high-risk destination for Brits. For now, exploring its wonders comes with too many uncertainties and dangers. We put countless hours into crafting these videos to bring you valuable insights, and your support means everything. If you found this eye-opening, let us know your thoughts in the comments. What surprised you the most? And don't forget, subscribing to our channel is just one click, but it makes a world of difference for us. Number 5. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, a nation renowned for its oil wealth, historic sites, and modern mega projects like NEOM and the Red Sea resorts, takes the 5th spot on our list. Despite its recent push to attract international tourists, the doors remain firmly closed to many British citizens in 2025 due to evolving political dynamics. Relations between the UK and Saudi Arabia have been strained in recent years, fueled by political disagreements over human rights issues, foreign policy stances, and trade policies. These tensions have contributed to stricter visa requirements and increased scrutiny for British nationals attempting to visit. While some travelers may still gain entry, reports suggest they often face long delays and rigorous questioning during the visa process. Even for those allowed into the country, navigating Saudi Arabia as a British national comes with its own challenges. British travelers have reported increased monitoring, limited freedom of movement, and a cautious reception from locals due to ongoing diplomatic disputes. These restrictions can make it difficult to fully enjoy the country's unique attractions, from the deserts of Al Ula to the bustling streets of Riyadh. The UK government has also issued travel advisories, warning citizens about the risks associated with visiting Saudi Arabia. These include concerns about legal and cultural differences, which can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and legal trouble for foreign visitors unfamiliar with local customs. While Saudi Arabia continues to expand its tourism initiatives under its Vision 2030 strategy, British citizens are finding themselves increasingly excluded from this vision due to the ongoing geopolitical climate. For now, it remains a destination that requires careful consideration and for many isn't worth the potential risks. Number 4. China. China, one of the world's most powerful nations and home to wonders like the Great Wall and the Forbidden City, is the 4th country on our list where British citizens face significant travel restrictions in 2025. This is a surprising addition, given China's prominence as a global destination for business and tourism. The strained relationship between the UK and China has grown in recent years, largely due to political tensions over issues like Hong Kong, trade disputes, and human rights concerns. These conflicts have led to stricter visa policies for British nationals, with many applications being delayed, rejected, or subject to heavy scrutiny. For travelers attempting to enter, the process has become a frustrating and often fruitless endeavor. British citizens who do manage to gain entry to China face an increasingly challenging environment. Reports suggest heightened surveillance of foreign nationals, with visitors often feeling watched and restricted in their movements. Simple actions, like carrying certain documents or accessing specific websites, can draw unwanted attention from local authorities. China's strict legal framework poses additional risks for British travelers. Visitors unfamiliar with the country's laws and regulations can find themselves in trouble over actions that might seem ordinary elsewhere. With diplomatic relations strained, consular support for British citizens is also limited, making any issues even harder to resolve. Despite these challenges, China's breathtaking landscapes, vibrant cities, and historic treasures still attract global travelers. However, for British citizens in 2025, visiting China requires navigating a minefield of restrictions and risks. The allure of its cultural richness is overshadowed by the complexities of its current political climate. As we continue, the next country on our list is one where the situation is even more precarious for British travelers. Let's move to the 3rd entry to uncover its challenges and policies. Number 3. Myanmar, a country known for its golden pagodas, lush landscapes, and the serene waters of Inle Lake, takes the 3rd spot on our list. However, for British citizens in 2025, this Southeast Asian nation has become nearly impossible to visit due to its ongoing political and social turmoil. The restrictions stem from the military coup that took place in 2021, which plunged Myanmar into a state of instability. Since then, the ruling junta has been highly suspicious of Western nations, including the UK, which has openly criticized its actions and supported opposition movements. This strained relationship has led to tightened visa policies and significant hurdles for British travelers. For those who attempt to enter, the risks are severe. Reports indicate that foreign visitors, particularly from countries like the UK, are often viewed as potential threats or spies. This has resulted in cases of detentions, harassment, and the confiscation of personal belongings. Even minor interactions with locals can be misinterpreted, putting visitors at risk. The security situation in Myanmar remains highly volatile, with violent clashes between the military and opposition forces occurring frequently. Travel outside major cities is heavily restricted, and areas that were once popular with tourists, like Bagan and Mandalay, are now considered unsafe. Adding to the difficulties, British nationals receive minimal diplomatic support, as many Western governments have scaled back their presence in Myanmar. The lack of reliable infrastructure and healthcare further compounds the dangers of visiting this country. While Myanmar's rich cultural heritage and natural beauty once made it a sought-after destination, the current political and safety concerns have rendered it inaccessible for British citizens. For now, it remains a country best admired from afar, as the risks of travel far outweigh the rewards. Number 2. Belarus. Belarus, a landlocked country known for its forests, castles, and Soviet-era architecture, occupies the second spot on our list of countries restricting British travelers in 2025. While it may not be as high profile as other entries, the reasons behind its inclusion are deeply tied to ongoing geopolitical conflicts and strained relations with the UK. The relationship between the UK and Belarus has deteriorated significantly in recent years. Much of this tension stems from Belarus's close alliance with Russia, particularly in the context of the Ukraine conflict. As the UK has imposed sanctions on both Belarus and Russia, Belarus has responded with its own measures, including tightening its borders and severely limiting access for British citizens. British nationals now face almost insurmountable obstacles in attempting to visit Belarus. Visa applications are frequently denied, and even those who receive approval often face extensive questioning and heightened scrutiny at the border. For many, this makes the idea of traveling to Belarus more trouble than it's worth. Once inside the country, visitors are likely to encounter additional challenges. Belarus has increased surveillance of foreign nationals, and British travelers in particular are often viewed with suspicion. This environment creates a sense of unease and limits the ability to explore the country freely. Another significant concern is the political climate within Belarus. The government's strict authoritarian policies have resulted in frequent protests and crackdowns. Foreigners, especially those from countries critical of the regime, risk being caught up in these events or misinterpreted as participants, which can lead to detentions or worse. While Belarus boasts unique attractions like the Mir Castle complex and the stunning landscapes of the Belovezhskaya Pushcha National Park, the risks associated with visiting as a British citizen are simply too high in 2025. It's a destination that has become synonymous with uncertainty and caution, leaving little room for the kind of exploration that once drew adventurous travelers. The final country on our list holds the most surprising and concerning restrictions for British citizens. Let's uncover what makes it stand out. Number 1. Syria. Syria, a country with a rich history and home to ancient sites like Palmyra and the old city of Damascus, takes the top spot on our list as the most restricted destination for British citizens in 2025. Once a cultural hub in the Middle East, Syria is now synonymous with conflict and instability, making it not only inaccessible but also incredibly dangerous for British travelers. The ongoing civil war, which began in 2011, has left much of Syria in ruins. The country's political situation remains highly volatile, with the government of President Bashar al-Assad still in power, while rebel factions and extremist groups control certain regions. The UK's strained relationship with the Syrian government, due to its stance on the war and support for opposition groups, has resulted in an outright ban on British citizens entering Syria. Even attempting to visit Syria poses significant risks. Entry points are heavily monitored, and British nationals are often viewed as spies or hostile actors. Many travelers have faced arbitrary detentions, and in some cases, foreigners have been kidnapped by militant groups. The lack of a functioning legal system and the absence of diplomatic support make it nearly impossible to resolve such situations. The safety concerns extend beyond political tensions. The infrastructure in Syria is severely damaged, with limited access to basic services like healthcare, transportation, and clean water. Regions once celebrated for their beauty and historical significance are now scarred by war, and unexploded ordnance poses an ongoing threat. For British travelers, the risks in Syria are unparalleled. the UK government has issued its strongest travel advisory, urging all citizens to avoid the country under any circumstances. While Syria's history and culture are undeniably captivating, its current state makes it a place that must remain off limits. The dangers are simply too great, and for 2025, it stands as the most inaccessible country for British nationals. As we've explored, the world in 2025 presents unique challenges for British travellers. The 10 countries on this list highlight how politics, diplomatic tensions, and safety concerns can transform once accessible destinations into no-go zones. From the isolation of North Korea to the ongoing turmoil in Syria, each country represents a different story, yet they all underscore the importance of understanding global dynamics before planning international travel. These restrictions aren't just about politics, they're about real-world risks. British citizens face challenges like arbitrary detentions, visa rejections, and intense scrutiny in these countries. In many cases, these policies are reactions to broader geopolitical shifts, such as sanctions, conflicts, or deteriorating relations between nations. While these issues might seem distant, they directly impact the ability of individuals to explore the world freely. However, it's important to note that international relations are constantly evolving. Countries that are inaccessible today may open their doors in the future as tensions ease and diplomatic efforts progress. Until then, travelers must stay informed, prioritize their safety, and respect the complexities of global politics. Traveling is about discovery, connection, and experience. While these 10 destinations may be off limits for now, the world still offers countless opportunities for exploration and adventure. The key is to remain aware, adaptable, and open to discovering the many other incredible places that welcome visitors with open arms. For British travelers concerned about navigating these restrictions, preparation is essential. Before planning any international trip, consult the latest travel advisories from the UK government. Websites like the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, provide up-to-date information on safety, visa requirements, and potential risks. Consider alternative destinations that are safe and welcoming. Many countries around the world offer rich cultural experiences, breathtaking landscapes, and warm hospitality without the associated risks. Researching off-the-beaten-path locations can lead to surprising discoveries while ensuring your travel plans remain secure. If your heart is set on visiting a restricted country, patience is key. Keep an eye on diplomatic developments and policy changes as international relations can shift quickly. In the meantime, focus on destinations that prioritize safety and offer opportunities to connect with new cultures and ideas. Ultimately, travel is about broadening horizons, and with careful planning, there's always a world of possibility waiting to be explored. These surprising restrictions are just part of the bigger picture of how the world is changing. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Did any of these countries shock you, or have you experienced similar travel challenges? Share your insights in the comments. And don't miss our previous videos on the new immigration rules may force millions to leave UK in 2025 and why immigrants are leaving the UK in record numbers. They're packed with eye-opening facts. Your support keeps us going, so please subscribe. It's just one click but means the world to us.